Every morning, you need to mind hack and murder hack your brand.
Exponential growth is exponential.
Look at your calendar and burn it. What is your personal winning resume?
The number one thing that they don't teach in school is to make money. Entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneur. Produce.
I am literally a god.
Spartans!
Business.
Money hacks.
Our arrows will blot out the sun.
What was that?
What?
I mean, what you included it again?
No, I didn't. I had the new voice you wanted.
No, I didn't want a new voice.
You specifically said you didn't like the voice.
I don't like it now.
Bridge, I don't know what you want at this point.
I don't want the voice.
Really worked hard on that.
I don't want the voice.
That's a robot voice. I thought you'd like that voice.
Our arrows will blot out
I do
the
like
sun.
that it's a robot voice. I will say that, but I feel like you're winning on this argument, and I don't like that even more. So we're at an impasse here.
It's a cyborg voice. Why don't you like it?
Because
it's
the point. It's the point. I like the robot factor. I don't like the message. Okay?
All right. All right. Well, welcome to Business Money Hacks. My name's Dustin Taylor Hahn.
I'm Bridge Stewart.
Today we're going to be talking about how to come up with ideas and never second guessing yourself.
How to embrace your idea, how not to look back.
If you ever come up with an original idea, never try to improve on it.
I see so many entrepreneurs these days making this mistake. They always have this great idea, and I'm like, just go for it. And then they're like, well, maybe I should improve on it. It's always just turns into a huge failure.
Steve Jobs never improved on his ideas.
Well, and that was the brilliance of Steve Jobs. And then he started tinkering with it. And
we all know what happened to him. So
we all know.
That's what happens when you second guess yourself. Second guessing yourself, to me, is like your first judgment on yourself. You never want to judge yourself. You only want to judge others.
And there can only truly be 3 judges in life. There's only 3 judges, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. And the fact that you are going to be judging is almost kind of blasphemous. So when you think outside the box, brain outside the egg, you begin you second guess that, you begin blasphemy.
All right. I guess it's a form of business blasphemy.
I agree, and it goes against the will of God.
Okay. Let's get away from God for a little bit. We have our guest in here today. Now, you just kind of knocked on the door of the compound that I have, and you said you wanted to say something.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Well, Dusty, I'm a big fan for one, and I'm very disappointed that you didn't remember my calls and the bus passes that you sent us all the way to Florida. It took 6 days to get here. And anyway, thank you for inviting us. It was actually Bridge who invited us, I think. Maybe you didn't know.
Oh, I didn't realize.
I get a lot of emails. I get a lot of phone calls. I just send things out, and sometimes people respond. And I guess this is one of those cases where
Bridge is notable for responding yes. When he doesn't want to respond to emails, he just types in yes and he hits reply.
I went through a 3-day period of saying yes to everything, sort of as a reawakening. And well, it looks like you've shown up on my doorstep.
I should have asked a little more than some bus passes if you were just a yes man.
Yeah, that was the opportunity, I think. That's closed off right now.
Yeah, I lost about $4 million in those 3 days. So, Bill, what is it? You were sort of ranting about this company that you had started, or this idea.
Well, it's actually a full-fledged app. I actually have a statement that my lawyer and I drew up.
You have a lawyer?
I do have a lawyer. So I was sitting on the beach one day, right, and thought to myself, I want some beer, and I don't want to have to get up and go to the store and get it. I want to sit there and be on my telephone. So I thought of an app where you can get anything you want on the beach. You can also sell anything you want to anybody else. But also anything. You can get lovely ladies bringing me swim trunks because I forgot them. It's kind of like Let Go. Have you ever let go?
I don't let go of anything. I got a huge compound of
real
trash
hoarder.
And treasures. So you're talking about servants?
Absolutely. I mean, they get paid servants. They're not,
paid.
They do get paid. Yeah, I guess y'all have unpaid servants, but
the app is called the Beach Club. What's it
Well,
called?
at first it was called Beer Club, and somebody tried to steal it, like they do all my brilliant ideas. And
Should have gone with the beer club because that's the first idea.
If somebody was ordering the beer in the water and then a shark attacked them, would you be sued for that? I mean, I'm just thinking like
who would be suing?
the Shark Club, I think they have.
I think they sell shark meat.
You know, I guess people sue for all kinds of shit. So
I've made millions just suing random companies, and
It's the American dream to sue, and God's will.
so
God's will to sue.
So you were at the beach, you saw a demand, and this idea came into your head. Did you second guess it at all? Was this the first idea that you came up with?
Absolutely not. I'm blossoming with ideas.
well, you should have gone with the first idea.
I feel like
That's
you
the
should have
first-
gone with the first idea. That's the whole point of this podcast.
Well, I did, and then some country music band stole it from me. Have y'all ever heard of the Redneck Riviera? I'm from Florida, the most phallic state in the Union. The one that looks like it's a peninsula.
yeah.
Right. Well, right where the balls would be. We call it the Redneck Riviera, and I came up with that term in 1972. Some country
Should've
band
ran
called
with-
Florida Georgia Line or some bullshit made a Vegas restaurant called Redneck Riviera, and they TM'd it. And I don't know what TM means, but it means I can't say it anymore.
Well, I think that's what you'd call business blasphemy right there. So you didn't go with that first idea, and that's why you're here knocking on doors of coliseums and trying to get in, and taking bus tickets. I don't know how you got here on the bus because we're in New Zealand, but I guess there must be like
That's a hell of a bus.
That's a big bus.
Well, Vladimir Putin's making the underground railroad under the sea. I don't think it's called the Underground Railroad, but it's something like that.
Yeah, I think that was Harriet Tubman.
The Tubman Tug.
Right.
No, I think she gave. Who's the third president? Jefferson. She gave Jefferson the old Tugman Tug.
I believe so.
Yeah,
I'm a little.
I'm a little fuzzy with my history.
Rough
We
with
should-
my history.
Yeah,
I
we
wish
should
I
talk
was
to
a bit of a
Sir
history
Smallwood
buff.
about that.
But,
Well, if you don't know nothing about history, you'll forever be a child. I don't know if you ever heard that terminology.
All right, well, let's.
Y'all want a beer?
So this story goes a little deeper than we suspected, right?
Yeah, I did a little research when you came in. I found this guy named Charles Galloway. They got a whole website. This is standing CEO, and
It looks like a whole different person
It looks like
started
it's-
this idea,
Yeah,
to be honest.
And frankly, Bill, I didn't see your name at all on that website.
Honestly, it's
Surprise, Bill.
Yeah,
we got we have a guest, a second guest, and surprise to our viewers.
Charles.
Hey guys, I just want to say I'm a big fan and I enjoy the show, but I had to call in to express my disappointment that you have let on this highly sophisticated crackpot and giving him a platform for his dubious claims that have no basis in objective reality.
We don't want to take sides here, but it almost seems like this guy Charles kind of went with his first idea and he ran with it.
actually, if I ever came in contact with you, Charlie, this is what my lawyer told me to say. I don't have a lawyer, but does he? I invented an app where you can get beer on the beach, plain and simple. And what I mean by that is I didn't create the app, but founded the idea and then told a few hundred of my closest confidants that therefore it is my intellectual property. And what I mean by that is this motherfucker stole my app.
That's quite a
there you hear
statement.
it,
Well,
guys.
there's two things there I want to, Charles, before. One is that now I agree that it's Bill Sutherland's idea because when you yell louder, that means that you're the winner of the argument.
That is a very, very good point. I would like to hear the counterpoint to this, Charles.
Honestly, I don't really think that's how intellectual property works, but let's talk it out. That's why we're here, right?
Yeah, I mean, you make a very good point, Charles. The one thing I will say that I sort of had a bit of an issue with is that you didn't start screaming belligerently into the microphone. And that's what really swayed me with Bill Sutherland.
Yeah,
Exactly.
In a court of law, at least on the sea, that means he wins the argument, and Charles would have been thrown right overboard.
And this,
He will.
This brings up a great point in regards to nautical laws. How far off the beach are you going with this stuff? Because if you're on a boat selling this stuff, maybe, say, 3.2 miles off the coastline of the United States, anything goes. So both of you would be thrown out in nautical law. You'd both be thrown to the sharks.
A spear and a fish head would be supplied to you both, and whoever killed the shark first would be the one who owns the app.
Well, fortunately, we got a wall to protect us now. So
The
go ahead.
Oh,
jump in.
the wall around Florida that they're building. I hear they're
Exactly.
building a wall around Florida. Is that right? Is that what's going on
it
right
won't
now?
be. It won't be so much a what is it? The Redneck Riviera after that. I mean, it'll be more like just a sarcophagus, a wall Riviera.
It is a nice place. It's what I call the Silicon Coast. You know, you guys can keep the valley out there. We will take the coast any day.
See, I like that you're throwing these sort of words out, and that you don't reek of Bud Light. These are factors
And
that
Bud
sort
Heavy,
of
brother.
are. I'm leaning towards Charles here.
Well, hey, your mic
he's
actually
using these words
smells
that I agree with.
Like a
Hey,
dead
all it
squirrel.
is if he was the inventor of Beach Club, he would have invented Beach Club.
How about we make a deal right here? You give me $20 billion, and I'll go away.
We do not have 20 billion in liquid capital as much as you'd like to
I
think.
almost feel like Bridge and I should have brought a gavel with us today and started judging and deciding right now. You don't need to get lawyers involved. I do have a beach on the island, on the compound, and we can bring Bill out there and give him a knife and some fish heads and see who takes down that shark.
Well, one question that I have is that if I wanted 3 pounds of morphine on the beach, could I get that?
Well, I mean, ever since the world was young, humans have been trading.
Morphine.
I would say if contraband was being sold inside the app, as long as they disguised it well enough, I don't really see how we could really stop them. However, it would be a violation of our terms and conditions to violate federal or state law.
Unless it's out in the sea.
Yes, hypothetically,
I think that's under Buccaneer Code 3578. You could bring out
all the morphine you want.
and young women out in the sea and do as you please.
I mean, that's what I generally try to do whenever I'm in Florida, is go 3 miles off the coast and take about a pound of morphine with me and just relax and look for some sharks. I guess the question is, are either of you selling that far off the beach, or is it just strictly sand-based selling?
Well, for me personally, I think a circular. So if you have a point in the middle and it's about a radius, mile radius.
Bill, are
So
you drunk?
that could be in the water. Hey man, I've had a few beers.
he's actually been making his own commercials to market our app as a way to get a bathing suit brought to you when you're sitting with your balls hanging out butt-ass naked on the beach.
Well, that's pretty awakening. I will say, though, a little bit of nudity in marketing can make things go far. I remember in the early 2000s, I had a commercial for one of my businesses where a bunch of people just ran on screen completely nude, screamed Microsoft, and then ran right off. That was, it didn't do great for sales, but it certainly got people's attention, and that's very important in the startup world.
I guess that's one way to look at it, but it is sure not helped us in the beginning.
Honestly, I was just gonna go along with the ride. You know, it's like, why not promote my idea and then get a settlement out of it? Because obviously it's my property.
We've got all the help we need, Mr. Sutherland.
I'm actually getting curious. Where did you find this man, Charles?
Well, he was a former employee, actually. Here in Florida, we have some really nice offices, large locker room for all of the employees, and we needed someone to clean it for us. And that is how Mr. Sutherland came into our lives. He was our janitor for about 2 months.
So we have a janitor on the podcast, on this business podcast that we've set up.
Custodial engineer.
Not sure how comfortable I am having a blue collar man. I thought you were a CEO.
I'm an idea man.
There seems to have been a gigantic lapse in our judgment as to who we're going to let in, because things have gone very quickly downhill. We're allowing this man to just be belligerently drunk in the corner of this room, and he's a janitor.
Okay, how about we settle this right here? Free beer, enchiladas, and some business cards that say I own half the company.
I would take the deal, to be honest.
If it's
You just want business
I
cards?
want 10,000 business cards that say I am a co-founder and free enchiladas.
I don't think he's backing down.
Sounds like a stalemate right here. What do you have to say, Charles?
I think the business cards is what he's really upset about.
I think you got a deal.
All right.
There we have it, folks. We've hashed out a deal.
I will get the attorney to draw up the papers.
You know, usually I like it when things go to court and get very messy and bleed both parties dry in regards to their lawyer fees. But this was kind of an interesting podcast session that we had, in that we were able to work this out without lawyers.
Yeah, it's almost as if we were I was the father and you were the son, and the Holy Ghost was just...
I wouldn't go that
not
far,
me.
Dustin.
No, I wouldn't go far as to say that. We need a third party for the Holy Ghost.
Well, this has been a very spiritual, a very litigious episode of Business Money Hacks. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you next time. And hopefully, Bill will be off of the property by then, because I have become sick of Bill more and more by the minute.